Welcome, juniors, to our course selection presentation. Happy New Year to you all. We hope you're all having a great start of second semester. I'm Mrs. Lamb, and I'm guidance counselor for students with last name M through SHA.
I'm Mr. Stiver, guidance counselor for students with last names SHE through Z.
Mrs. Kashe, last names GOB through L.
Valentine, I have students with the last name A through GOU.
We are so sad that we are not meeting you all in person having this presentation. However, we're doing our best we can, and we've recorded this presentation. We want you to go through the entire presentation and jot down any notes that you might have for us. And what we plan to do is we'll host a follow-up Q&A webinar on January 26th from 10:45 to 11:15. And that'll be your time to ask us any follow-up questions you have regarding course selection and schedule and classes for next year and so forth. We will also be hosting a parent webinar on the 28th, Thursday, from 5 to 6 p.m. And that'll be for parents to ask any general questions that you have as well too. All of this information is posted on the Monte Vista website. And if you follow us on our Monte Vista Guidance Instagram page, it'll be posted there as well, and in Schoology too.
Today, we are going to introduce ourselves, which just happened on the last slide. We are going to talk a little bit about graduation and college requirements. You're all experts by now, rising seniors, so but we do want to share that to you since you have obviously one more year left before graduation. Talk about course selection process, things to consider for next year in 12th grade. We'll talk a little bit about the college application timeline, just give you a little taste of it for now, and then we'll end with some next steps.
Okay, so hopefully by now, rising seniors, you know who your guidance counselor and assistant principals are. Maybe you're new, we'll go through them real quick. If you have last name A through GOU, then Miss Valentine is your guidance counselor and Mr. Martinez is your assistant principal. If you have last names GOV through L, then myself, Mrs. Kasha is your guidance counselor and Mr. Flores is your assistant principal. If you have last names M through SHA, then Miss Lamb is your guidance counselor and Miss Chen is your assistant principal. And last but not least, the greatest of all time, Mr. Stecker, the ghost.
Not a ghost. I'm right here.
Last names SHE through Z, Mr. Stiver as your guidance counselor and Mr. White as your assistant principal. It's been a long week, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, moving right along. As rising seniors, you've probably seen this before, but we can't say enough that having balance between academics, daily living, extracurriculars, and soon to be for all of you nice people, college apps is very, very important. So part of this presentation is also thinking about your courses and making sure that you have that balance so that you're able to manage it all and just feel confident and successful in your senior year.
So this is our four-year timeline, and every year we have a theme for each grade level. Now, currently as 11th graders, the theme really is honing in, meaning going deeper into the things that you are interested in and that you are passionate about. It doesn't mean that, loading up on additional stuff. It actually means really kind of weeding out the things that you aren't interested in and just kind of focusing on, maybe that one or two things that you are, are driven and passionate about. You're looking to seek balance, and later this spring in March, we're going to do a lot of college exploration with you. We'll be visiting your classrooms. We'll be talking about, we'll be showing you in Naviance how to, navigate the tools to help you explore the different college pathways, as well as how do you build your college list. So the process does begin pretty soon. And then in 12th grade, it really is all about putting it together, right? So it's really time to celebrate all of your hard work that you've done over the course of the 4 years and just putting it all on paper. So really it's important to, seek balance while you're doing this, because all of fall semester, you'll be spending quite a bit of your time working on your college applications, right? So you're not just working on one application or two applications, you'll be working on multiple applications as well as college essays. So you want to ensure that your classes that you're choosing are balanced, and that you're giving yourself that time, that extra time, to be able to put the focus and energy into your college application process.
All right, a little review of the high school requirements. You all have probably seen this slide a million times throughout, the last 3 years, in guidance presentations, night events, stuff like that. I want to point out a couple of things. In our middle column here is the high school graduation requirements. Obviously, you need 220 total credits by the end of your senior year to graduate. A big thing that kind of comes up for seniors is just making sure you get your PE credit done. Some of you will have to take a PE course your senior year. Some of you may be playing a sport. Sports this school year, obviously, we don't really know if they're going to happen yet. I know Mr. Bonacorsi is getting some information out about that, but there is a chance that sports don't happen potentially. So obviously, we're hoping next year that does happen, but things are changing obviously with COVID. But if you need a PE class, please sign up for a PE class your senior year. Please put it in your top 6, because some of you may need those credits to graduate. Okay, so that's a big one that we see a lot with seniors in regards to credits for graduation. On the far right, these are the college eligibility requirements. They're very similar to the high school graduation requirements. One thing, I'm not going to review all of them. Again, we've shown this slide so much. But one thing to point out again is that 1 year of fine art. You do need 1 year of visual and performing arts to be four-year college eligible. These are courses like art, photography, choir, music, band, drama. There's some others in there. Check the course offerings list to see an exhaustive list. Also PE dance. If you take PE dance, that also can be used to meet that requirement. But that's a course that we sometimes see with rising seniors that they need their senior year to make sure they meet that requirement. Obviously, if you have any questions about your credits, your eligibility, you're more than welcome to reach out to your counselor to basically make sure you're on track. We are checking your transcript every single year, and we will actually check it 2 times your senior year to make sure you are on track for both graduation requirements and college eligibility, and we'll let you know if you're off track for either, but you also have the information yourself, so you can review your own transcript and make sure you're on track.
Okay, selecting courses. Obviously, as seniors, you have more options than you have at all in Monte Vista taking classes. You are at the top. You have worked hard for this over the last 3 years. But we want to make sure that you're still thinking thoughtfully about the classes that you want to take. Do they make sense for you in where your skills and abilities are, what you want to pursue in the future post-secondary? So we really want to make sure that you're not trying to overload yourself with heavy academic classes and you're thinking thoughtfully about what makes sense for you. So again, if you're thinking about taking higher level classes, make sure they're in subject areas that interest you or that will be advantageous for you to have for the future. Make sure that you're still reaching out to your current teachers, to your guidance counselors, to anybody that can provide you insight on what makes the most sense. If you're debating, you'll have a couple different options for English classes as seniors. You have 4 different options. So you might really want to talk to your current English teacher, go to the course info fair and find out the information about the other English classes to decide which one makes the most sense. You'll have the choice between taking Gov and Econ, but also AP Gov and AP Econ. So what makes sense for you to take? So don't just take higher level courses because you think it's going to look good for college. Make sure you're really thinking about where it makes the most sense for you. The last bullet here, do not underestimate the impact of college applications. I think that this is like, when I was pregnant, people were like, wait till you have that kid, you are going to be so tired. And I was like, I've been tired before. I have never been so tired as when I have had a small child. So it is like this, like we tell you it's going to take a lot of time and you're like, oh yeah, I do things that take a lot of time. You have no idea how much time this is actually going to take. So most of the time seniors take 5 classes. They take English, math, science, Gov and Econ, an elective course of their choice, and that's it. So you have 2 free periods that you can work on your schoolwork, but also do your applications. You need to expect that the applications are going to be like an additional course. So if you, especially if you're thinking that you might want to apply early to colleges by a November 1st deadline, then you have to have all of that stuff ready to go. So school starts in August. You are getting it all done. It is ready to submit. So that means that first semester could be super packed for you. So you really need to think ahead. I know it's kind of scary now to think about it, but you want to do what you need to do to be graduation eligible, to be college eligible, but not to put too much on your plate that you can't handle all of the things that you need to do outside of your academics if you are planning to apply to a four-year college or university. If you're leaning towards community college, that will not happen until the spring of your senior year. So that does give you a little bit more wiggle room and in the fall, and it's not something that you have to worry so much about first semester. But really think about where you plan to go and your timeline, and be thoughtful about what you do for freshman, or for first and second semester.
And, just to add to that, you want to think this potentially could be your last year at home, right? So it's very bittersweet, and you definitely want to, continue to make those memories with your family and your friends and those around you. So you want to be able to leave time for them too. So not just, about your schoolwork or about your college applications, but just about creating those memories that, will last you for your senior year. And we want it to be a happy one. So also make time for that too.
So the course selection process this year is going to look a little different just because, we're in different times. So by the end of January, you should receive a K-12 online course request form, which you're going to fill out once. You're going to get a course offerings handout and a how-to video for Infinite Campus, and you will submit your classes via the K-12 form and Infinite Campus, and you need to do that once for each platform.
Here is the course selection timeline. So the Infinite Campus portal opens February 8th, and it'll close March 5th. So you essentially have a month to think about the classes you want to do, what classes are right for you. That's your time to connect with your teachers and get more feedback. K-12 course request forms are also due on March 5th. Now, course verification and for corrections, it'll open the week of March 22nd and it'll close on the 26th. So that's your time to go back into Infinite Campus and double check to make sure everything in there is correct. And if it's good, then you're fine. If you need to make corrections, then you just let the office staff know. Final course verification will be sent in early June. Tentative schedules will be mailed early August, and running of the bowls will be August 9th, and that is your time to be able to either drop or look at potential ads for elective options. And August 16th is your first day of school, and that's when you're going to pick up your schedule.
All right, let's talk about some of the core course offerings for next year for rising 12th graders. And like Ms. Kasha said, this is the time you have the most options. For English, you actually have 4 different choices. You have British literature, we have myth, we have contemporary lit, and then we have AP English. Now there is a lot of variability between all 4 classes, and definitely some variability in workload as well. We have an AP class in there. So very important to do some research on your own. I'm not going to go over each class and the books they read and the workload, stuff like that, but that's what the course information fair is for, as well as talking with your current literature teacher and getting some information from there. Even talking to friends, older siblings, again, make an informed decision, do some research, and figure out which course will be best for you. Okay. For social science, it's going to look a little bit different this year than in the past, or for 12th grade than in 10th and 11th. You're going to do 1 semester of either economics or AP economics, and then you will do a semester of U.S. government or AP U.S. government. And you're not sure which one's going to come first. You may have econ first semester, you may have gov first semester. And you can choose AP econ or regular econ, US gov or AP. You don't have to choose both AP or both college prep. You can go one or the other. It's really your choice on what combo you want to have. But again, make sure you're making an informed decision. There is definitely a difference in workload between the college prep course and the AP course. So talk with your current U.S. history teacher about that. Think about your overall course selections, your overall load, your balance. If you're playing a sport, you have outside activities, general life stuff, just hanging out with friends and family. So always, like anything, just make sure everything's balanced. And then with science, you basically have access to almost every science course we have out there. Again, some of these have some prerequisites. Before you take them, you might want to have some background knowledge before you kind of move on. But there's AP Environmental Science, there's any of the chemistry courses, there's 3 different physics classes, there's physiology, there's AP Biology. So again, if you're in a science class now, talk with your teacher, get some information, go to the course information fair, talk with those teachers of those courses to get all the information you need to make an informed decision.
Math, my favorite subject. So you guys are seniors. You have done math likely many years at Monte Vista. So if you are taking math next year, you should know really where you fit based on this. I really want to kind of just touch on a couple things. Be really thoughtful about what it is you think you want to do after graduation. If you want to attend a 4-year college and there's particular majors you are looking at, I want you to think thoughtfully about whether it makes sense for you to have higher levels of math. Do you need a Calc BC? Would you be okay with Calc AB? Do you even need Calc? There are a couple majors where it is advantageous to have calculus in high school. Those would be engineering, physics, math, maybe computer science, but a lot of the other majors that you will major in would prefer you to have AP statistics. So really think about it. Don't put yourself in a situation where you are taking a college level math class that becomes a struggle and it's not something that you even need for the future. So talk to your current math teacher, get some feedback, think big picture, what other classes are you gonna take? Think about college applications, and just reach out to us, reach out to your math teachers, the math department chair, whomever it is that you need to get some advice on to make sure that you are really taking what makes the most sense for you for next year.
All right, so continuing on with courses, we have elective courses for next year. So fine arts, we have art, photography, 3D sculpture and design, which is like ceramics, music, choir, drama. The applied academics, you have business, computer science, woodworking, engineering, journalism, world language, Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, and French. And then the general electives, so like TA, lab assistant, media assistant, yearbook leadership, avid tutor. Any of these are available for you. With the general electives, these are general electives for high school graduation, and then PE, racket sports, weight training, dance, and basketball. As Mr. Stiver was saying, as rising seniors, it's really important that if you need a fine art or a PE class, to put those in your top 6 classes so that you can ensure that you get them because they're needed.
Selecting courses. So you are all pros at this now. So just a couple of reminders. Request your top 6 and the top 6 choices if you plan to do 6 classes. But as Ms. Kasha was saying earlier, most of our seniors will end up doing 5 just to give you more balance to do all the great things that you need to do during your senior year. Definitely request a free 7th if you know you're going to be participating in a sport, or if you want to have an unscheduled 7th, that's an option. If you are interested in doing 7 classes, just understand that the 7th is if space is available, right? So it should be a course that you can live with or you can live without. So meaning that if you get it, that's great. That's like a bonus, but if you don't, no sweat because you got all your other top 5 or 6 courses that you requested for to begin with. And obviously there's no doubling up in one particular subject area. So for example, no taking Japanese and Chinese or physiology and physics.
Course selection support. Monte Vista website as well as Schoology will have all kinds of information, presentations, videos, the course offerings. I think some information from different departments on campus. So a lot of information on there. We will have a course selection parent Q&A webinar. So this is specifically for parents for both our rising 11th and rising 12th graders. So for you guys. on Thursday, January 28th from 5 to 6, and that link will be coming out. For students, we have a student-only Q&A webinar on Tuesday, January 26th from 10:45 to 11:15. All the counselors will be there for that. We'll hop on and answer any questions you might have, students. There's the elective night Q&A webinar on February 2nd, 6:30 to 7:30. Our English learners, there's the EL course selection webinar on February 9th from 5 to 6. And again, links will be sent out. And then finally, some things that we've talked about, the student course info fair, obviously is going to look different this year than last year, but very, very helpful when making informed decisions, will be on February 10th during advisory. And that will be a time for you to actually ask questions of the teachers of those courses that you may get next year. So definitely good to utilize that for some course selection support.
Okay, campus life. Again, you guys are seniors, so you've been on campus, not your entire time in high school, but most of it. So you're familiar with what we offer at Monte Vista, our athletics, clubs, leadership, music, all of that stuff. You may have gotten involved in some things on campus already that you're going to continue this year, hopefully back in person. We're all expecting it to be. But it's not too late to try new things. So if you haven't had the chance to do something that you've always been thinking about or you've been too scared to try, do it. Join those clubs. Get involved in that drama production. You don't have to be in the class to actually participate. There's different things that you can get involved in. Try out for that sport that you may be thinking about doing. So get involved in campus. One of the things that we hear from seniors when we interview them for rec letters is that they wish that they would have gotten involved more on campus and done more activities and got out of their comfort zone and just kind of met more people. So you have that opportunity to do that.
So, along with having all the extracurriculars and your course load and your daily living, next year you will have college apps. And like Ms. Kasha and Ms. Lamb were saying, it's not something that you want to underestimate. You do want to have some balance. So while we encourage you all to do new things and try things, you're not going to do everything on the campus life list. You're going to pick and choose the things that you want to do, that you're interested in doing, and you're also looking to make sure you can maintain your sleep. And like Ms. Lamb was saying, it will be your last year at home, your last year at high school. Really, this is a good time to reflect and say, what do I want that year to look like? What are my goals? How do I want to feel my last year of high school? So again, we really can't say enough how much having a balance is very, very important.
All right, post-secondary options. There's so many different options that you all can choose from. And when we visit you in March during our guidance presentation, we will highlight a lot of these things and we'll talk more in depth about them. But just to preview, these are the options that you have and you should be thinking about. There's UCs, there's CSUs, private colleges, out-of-state, public, private, community college, vocational programs, international schools, military, so many things, right? So many things to research, so many opportunities. So we do want you to know that there's just not one particular pathway that you have. There are many different pathways to get to where you want to go and to accomplish your future goals. So this should be the focus starting later this spring up until the summer and the fall of your senior year, is really looking at these post-secondary options.
And this is just to give you all a brief look at a timeline for college applications. And like Mrs. Lamb says, we will give you so much more information in our 11th grade guidance unit that we'll do in the next couple months here. So this is not exhaustive at all, just like a little taste, little appetizer right here. There is so much more to come later on. In terms of spring, summer of 2021 of this semester, obviously we're going to start the college research process, visiting, maybe not physically visiting over the summer, depending on what's happening in the country with COVID and stuff, but maybe virtual visits. A lot of these colleges have really, really good virtual tours now because they've had to adjust as well as we have. So a lot of these things you can do, just from the computer at home. Naviance and College Board are two really, really good resources to use online for college searching. In the summertime, might be a good time to begin college essays, start to organize application requirements and materials, like which colleges need letters of recommendation, which colleges need transcripts, stuff like that. We will have an 11th grade college night, probably sometime in late April, early May. We haven't selected a date yet, but we will do something, and that would be for both students and parents to attend. I imagine it will probably be virtual, but we'll get that information out to you all as soon as we have some dates finalized. When you start senior year in the fall, that's the time to start finalizing that college list. Start finishing up any SAT or ACT testing. We know the requirements for the test has kind of changed a little bit. So a lot of schools are going optional. Some schools aren't even requiring it anymore. So there's some changes around that as well. Fine tune those college essays. And then finally in the fall is when you will actually start submitting applications and all the materials that might be needed. So again, just a brief look at the timeline. We'll go into so much more detail coming up at the college night, as well as with our guidance unit. And then we'll have even more for you in the fall when you start senior year as well. We will be working together very closely in senior year on your college stuff, or whatever you're gonna do after high school. So this is not just related to college necessarily.
Okay, so when I just talked a few minutes ago, I talked about things that seniors tell us when we meet with them for their interviews. And these are some of the things that have come up in those conversations that we have every year. Balance. So many seniors at the beginning of their senior year say, I wish I would have been more organized. I wish I would have maintained more balance. I would have been better about, keeping my classes, organized in my time after school and my weekends, and went to bed earlier. So really maintaining that balance is key. It will not just benefit you in high school, but in college, in the future, it is very important. Choosing courses that are right for you, not what your siblings took or your friends or cousins took or your parents or guardians are telling you or family members are telling you, but really thinking about what are the classes and subject areas that you enjoy? Where are your skills, and where can you challenge yourself? Where do you need to pull back a little bit? And really thinking about the future and what you should take based on all of that information. Exploring your areas of interest. If you are passionate about art, take those art classes at Monte Vista, take those art classes outside, explore different avenues with that. And you'll never know what you're going to find that might interest you. Independence and self-advocacy. Although your parents might love to come to college with you next year, they are not allowed to. So really now is the time to advocate for yourself. Send those emails yourself to your teachers, to your guidance counselors. Don't be scared to reach out to colleges and universities to ask for information. We really want to hear from you as rising seniors. We like to hear from you more than we like to hear from your parents. We really want you to get that sense of independence and to know when to ask help and to know who to reach out to and not be scared. I know it can be kind of intimidating sometimes, but we are very nice and we like to work with students. That's why we have this job. So reach out to us, work with your teachers. We are always impressed by the students who take that initiative and reach out to us, and same thing with teachers. When you have a question or you need some help and you reaching out to your teacher first, it always looks better and, on your part than having your parents reach out for you. So really kind of learn to advocate for yourself and reach out to your supports. And contact us whenever you need it. We're here. We're virtually in our various rooms of our homes, meeting with students, talking to parents, giving you guys support. We know that this year has been very different, and there's probably a lot of questions about what will happen for colleges in the future next year. So that information will probably be coming this spring, this summer. We may not even have answers to some of the questions until the fall. So we will do our best to get you guys updated information as much as possible, but you can always reach out and ask us questions and we will do what we can to help you.
Okay, next steps and friendly reminders. So attend the Q&A webinars for students. Again, that's January 26th from 10:45 to 11:15. For your parents, January 28th from 5 to 6. Make sure that you're contacting your teachers to discuss your courses, any concerns that you have. I would recommend not just for that specific subject, but let your teacher know what classes you want to take overall so they can see also the big picture of what your classes will look like. Elective Q&A webinar will be February 2nd, and you're going to turn in your K-12 course selection form on March 5th, as well as your Infinite Campus portal course selection registrations. That's our presentation. We really hope that everyone got, a lot of good information about the process this year, looking for balance and making informed decisions for your courses. And, as rising seniors, it's all important, and we're here to help you. So make sure you reach out and ask us your questions.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, we miss you.
Bye.
See you later.